What if I told you that before Eve ever walked in Eden, there was another woman who stood beside Adam, and she chose rebellion over submission? Welcome back to Myths Untold, where forgotten stories whisper their truths through the shadows of history. Her name is Lilith, whispered in ancient texts, feared in midnight prayers, and celebrated in modern movements. She is perhaps the most misunderstood figure in religious mythology, a woman whose story was deliberately buried, whose voice was silenced, and whose very existence challenges everything we thought we knew about the beginning of humanity. But who was Lilith really? Was she Adam's rebellious first wife who dared to demand equality? Or was she always the demon queen that folklore paints her to be? Long before her name appeared in Jewish texts, Lilith haunted the ancient world. In Sumerian tablets dating back over 4,000 years, she emerged as Lilitu, a wind spirit associated with storms and darkness. The Babylonians knew her as a night demon who prowled the wilderness, her wild hair flowing like shadows, her eyes burning with untamed fire. These weren't just stories. To ancient peoples, Lilith represented the untamable forces of nature, the hurricane that couldn't be controlled, the darkness that couldn't be conquered. She was chaos personified, beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. But it's in Jewish mysticism where Lilith's most powerful story unfolds. According to the alphabet of Ben Sira, written in the medieval period, Lilith was created alongside Adam from the same earth, the same divine breath. She wasn't formed from his rib like Eve. She was his equal in every way, and that equality became her downfall. The text tells us that when Adam demanded Lilith submit to him, particularly in intimate matters, she refused. "Why should I lie beneath you?" she challenged. "We are both created from dust. We are equals." Can you imagine the courage it took? In a world where submission was expected, where questioning divine order was unthinkable, Lilith stood her ground. When Adam persisted, she spoke the ineffable name of God and flew away from Eden forever. God sent 3 angels, Senyoi, Sansanoi, and Samanjaloth, to bring her back. They found her by the Red Sea, already transformed by her exile. The pure woman who once walked in paradise had become something else entirely. Her hair had grown wild, her nails sharp as claws, her beauty twisted into something both alluring and terrifying. The angels threatened her, demanded her return, but Lilith had tasted freedom, and freedom once known cannot be forgotten. She refused, accepting instead a curse that would make her the mother of demons, the killer of newborns, the seductress who visits men in their dreams. In Kabbalistic tradition, Lilith becomes even more complex. She's not just a demon, she's the shadow side of the divine feminine, the dark moon to the Shekinah's bright light. Some texts describe her as the consort of Samael, the angel of death, ruling over the forces of darkness and chaos. But here's where Lilith's story becomes truly fascinating. In our modern world, she's been reclaimed as a symbol of feminine independence and rebellion against patriarchal oppression. Feminist scholars have reframed her story, asking, what if Lilith wasn't the villain? What if she was the hero all along? What if her refusal to submit wasn't evil, but brave? What if her transformation into a demon queen wasn't punishment, but empowerment? What if the very qualities that made her dangerous, her independence, her sexuality, her refusal to be controlled, are exactly what made her magnificent? The truth is, Lilith's story exists in the spaces between scripture and folklore. She appears in no canonical biblical text. Her tale as Adam's first wife comes from much later Jewish literature, written centuries after the Torah was compiled. So, was Lilith Adam's first wife, or a demon queen? Perhaps the answer is both. Perhaps she's neither. Perhaps she's something far more important. A mirror that reflects our own fears and desires, our struggle between submission and rebellion, our eternal quest for freedom. In a world that still debates women's equality, that still struggles with questions of power and submission, Lilith's ancient story feels startlingly modern. She reminds us that sometimes the greatest evil is simply refusing to accept the role others have chosen for you.